All right. So let's kick it off. All right, you guys. I believe we are live now with our official. I guess we call it not season because I think there's no seasons. I think we just keep it rolling all the time. And so with that being said, we this is our official episode 1. I got a very important guest here today with us.
That's right.
Very, very, obviously for those that do know us, you do know that we're married, happily married for now almost 9 years next month. But this interview will be different. I'm going to take off the husband hat off and have my best interviewing skills at play. They're going to bring them to the table. And I think we're going to have fun. I think we're going to learn a lot about
I'm excited
the Team
about
Beauty
this.
founder. Maybe we'll ask her some questions that I haven't asked as a husband, and it could get pretty interesting. So I'm excited. Welcome, Gery Gutierrez.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I mean, just having you in front of me is always makes me feel some type of way, but
Okay.
but I'm excited to be able to host our very first episode here in our YouTube channel and of course our podcast that we will be having.
Right.
So let's kick it off.
All right. So let's kick it off. We got a couple questions, as we know you now today, right, as the Team Beauty founder, a project that was done, started in 2015, right? So it's a little bit over 7 years now, right? Have been having women all over, really, I want to say over the world, because I know some people in Spain and whatnot had gotten a hold of the project. People in Central America, South America have also adopted this project, this women empowerment movement. So you've been, doing it 7 years now. Been a business owner since the age of
18.
18 years old. So you're one of the lucky ones, Gery, that kind of knew. Can you explain that? I think if we go back, and for those that want to really meet Gery, right? Because I think I'll speak for myself. I know I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I mean, I had no clue, right? You have you dream and you think about I don't know, some people might think about being famous or being an athlete. I know I wanted to be an athlete, etc., but no concrete vision of visualizing myself somewhere. So what was it for you to really have that dedication at 18 years old and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to become a business owner. What was that inspiration to become one?
Well, let me tell you that at the beginning, I don't think, when I think about it now that you're asking this, it wasn't like I came out of high school thinking, I want to be a business owner. Like that was my dream. I did always dream of being successful, living in a big house, having the car, traveling, all of those things. But I never really thought that becoming a business owner was actually going to be my avenue. I was going to college. I was studying to become a physical therapist. That's what I was actually doing. Until come through these moments of inspiration or desperation, and it was just one of those times when was in college. I was just like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what I want to pursue? People were going through some tough times back in 2007. And so I would look at everybody and I would be like, I don't want my life to be like this when I get quote unquote older.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to open my eyes, my ears, and my heart to different opportunities.
Great. And I'm thinking not a lot of people your age were trying to become business owners, right? I think the average, I know at 18 years old, I'm partying, I'm ready to get out of high school, kind of fake going to community college, not deciding with any type of major in mind, not really knowing. But what would you say that you start off this project, you any business, right? You try to get the specifically one that you chose was network marketing, right? Which you obviously need to have contact with people. You need to talk to people. You need to know some people, get to know them. What was kids, that you went to high school with? Like, what were they up to? Did they kind of were they supportive? Were they, what the heck are you doing with your life? That is, does stuff doesn't work. Go back to school. I can just imagine teachers and whatnot. Can you
Yeah,
go into
no,
that?
it was crazy. I mean, when I decided to start my business, I actually dropped out of college. So I remember it was spring break. After spring break, I didn't go back. And everybody thought I was crazy because I was a good student. I knew what I wanted. I had good grades and everything, but I just stopped going. And so people thought that I was crazy, that I was stupid for doing what I was doing, that my life was gonna turn around and it was gonna basically go down a rabbit hole. And I'm so grateful today that I didn't listen to the opinions, to the naysayers, to the people who didn't believe in me. Because at that moment, that kind of stuff only gave me more fire, right?
Right.
It gave me more, this for like, you know what? I'm gonna prove everybody wrong on, what they think that this is.
Right. And Jerry, would you say, for those that are listening today that are entrepreneurs, business owners, maybe some might be have a background of network marketing, what was your, you obviously pull out of college because maybe some people are doing it part time. You went full time right out the gate, and tell me a little bit about, maybe income wise, right? If you can get a little bit, not too detailed if you don't need to, but what did it look like for you at you start this business, and what was the work ethic like to get there, right? Were you just doing it on your spare time? Was it Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, 6, 7 days a week initially at the beginning moments of your career? Can you kind of go into that?
Well, at the beginning, I was 18. I lived with mom and dad. I hardly had any bills, but my car payment and that's it, right? My car payment. And so when I went in, I went all in. I just said, this is what I want to do. I was very inspired by what I was seeing. And so that got me very excited. Making money has always made me excited, whether whatever that was, it was that kind of always sparked a higher interest in me. And so when I started, that work ethic was sun up to sundown. Every single day it was who I was. It was what I did, and it didn't matter whether it was the weekend, whether it was during the week. It was like this is what I was doing every single day, and I was so laser focused in proving people wrong because that was my only, like, how do you say it? That pressure, that was the only pressure I had. I didn't have children, I didn't have debt, I didn't have any bills to pay or anything like that. I was, okay, and I was good living at mom's and dad's. But there was the two factors, right? It was like proving people wrong and becoming successful in this realm now that I had dropped out of college.
So you kind of had that chip on your shoulder. You would say that that kind of was a motivating, because I know sometimes a lot of people say, well, it's because I have kids, or that's their excuse, right? I think it's also, I always tell people that it's even harder when you don't have kids, because it's not that hard in today's age in the United States of America to feed yourself. It's like if you are coachable, you're willing to do work, get a job, you're not going to starve, and there's anywhere, I'm not going to say anywhere is hiring, but it's just as hard when you don't have children, right? Like I said, because you just got to feed yourself, so you got to have some sort of internal and external into a certain way of motivation. So now let me ask you
And the
this:
fear of failing,
the fear
right?
of
It was
failing,
the fear of failing. It was like I dropped out of college because I wanted to start my business
right?
and I was going to go all in. And then it was like I was still fearful, like, what if it doesn't, or what if, I'm doing all of this and then, it doesn't work out or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of people have fear of some type in whatever they're trying to get to. And I would say, use that fear not as something that paralyzes you, but something that fuels you to do everything with excellence,
Right.
right? Because if you do it with excellence, and you actually do go all in whatever area of your life that it is you're going all in, then something good will always come out of that.
Right.
Mhm.
And what was your biggest your first initial goal, right? When you became a business owner, I think everybody has some kind of benchmark, I would say, like, okay, if I can do this, because I mean you got to have a goal in mind when you start anything, I would say, right? For those people starting a business, it might be making the first $100,000 of that business, revenue, having the revenue of $1 million, or maybe an actual income. What was your initial when you start? What was your goal initially to
Well,
say
let me
that,
tell
check
you
that
that I
off?
don't think that I had like huge aspirations. For me, it
Ambition.
was like, oh, if by the time I'm 30 I can make $5,000 a month, that's gonna be way more, that I could make. So that was my goal. If by the age of 30 I can make at least $5,000 a month, which was a 10-year, 10 to
Goal
12
plan.
year plan.
And so did you hit when did you hit $5,000 a month, would you say?
I hit that my first year.
Within your first year, you
Mhm.
got to accomplish and check that off. So obviously for everybody that's hearing us, obviously as you said, it was like a sun up to sundown. It wasn't like on my spare time. It was a work ethic that you'd have to say. And that's what I love about kind of businesses sometimes, that in a traditional business, not to put any traditional business as an employee, you can't put in more than 40 hours sometimes, right? They say, oh, you can't surpass that 40 hour because it'd be overtime. And here it's like you can work as hard as you want, right? If you want to have 15, 16, 17-hour days, would you say that was your life at that stage within the first year to get to $5,000 a
I
month?
was passionate, I was happy, I was excited, and I didn't feel it.
Wow. Now talk to me about you hit the top 1% of your company by the age of 21, if I'm not mistaken. The average, right? The average person that's kind of working at this project takes roughly, 12, 13 years to accomplish that. You did this in a 3-year period, being 21, right? When temptation is out there, I guess you could say, being a teenager.
Speak for
Uh,
yourself now.
well,
Speak for yourself.
I know the areas we come from, right? And the cultures, right? The Hispanic culture is drinking, going out, partying. Did you do any of that stuff at that era
I
of?
did not.
Wow,
No,
you did
I
not.
had no social life. You
No
know,
social life.
there was
Write that down.
also no Instagram or Facebook.
True.
Okay. And so it was like my friends wouldn't invite me out anymore because
You were the weird
I
girl
was a
that
weird one doing this. And I was at midnight, 1 in the morning, sitting on top of mom and dad's bed, talking about business and
right,
projects and the next move. And it was awesome. I really don't think that I missed out on anything. But I did have, when people ask me, it's like I had no social life, and you do have to give up to go up. You
right.
have to give up something.
Some sort of
And
sacrifice.
for me at that time, at that stage of my life, at that age, I guess that's what it was. And it was great. It was great for me to do that.
Right. Did you ever, once you hit that goal, getting to the top 1%, I'm sure, what was it immediately that I know, and for some people, I can even speak about myself. Sometimes you have a goal and you sometimes also don't know what's next. You say, okay, cool, I got here, but now what, right? What's going to keep me moving after, I always tell, related back to combat sports. Okay, now I'm the champion. I got the belt, I'm on top of the mountain, Mount Rushmore. You got to have something else. So what was, after 21 years old, what was the next thing that you kind of embarked on to keep you motivated to keep on doing what you were doing? Was there anything in specific, or did you get there and say, man, something's missing, I need something? Well, I don't know, could you kind of elaborate what kept you going after hitting the top 1% to keep on pushing you forward?
Well, I think what is important in whatever you do is that you find something that is going to, of course, make you money, that is going to help you help a lot of people, that is going to help you stay healthy,
Right.
right? And when I reached the top 1%, I started traveling a lot. I
Nice.
started going around the world, which that was awesome. My closet was full of all of the things that I wanted.
Okay.
Um, and I just was so passionate about helping other people that I never realized if something was missing, right? Of course, I was single and I don't know if I was ready to mingle, but I was single. And, there was times when I would travel that I would tell myself, like, I love success. I love everything that I do, but I would also like to have a partner, right? I would like to have a boyfriend, a good relationship.
Sure.
Um, and but I also had standards, right? And and
Okay.
and there was always the people would tell me, my friends would tell me, like, you're not gonna find anybody your age that makes the amount of money that you make.
Sure. That's
You're
tough.
gonna scare people away and
Intimidate.
intimidate and all of those things. So I've always been passionate. I've always loved what I did, and I always was seeking the next project, right?
Mm.
Even if it was within my business, there was always something next that I was excited for.
I always see something that you do very well is that you always have your calendar with you, right? You
Mhm.
always like getting that thing full. I think that would be, if I can look at it from an outsider, something that is crucial, right? That keeps you having benchmarks, having events, having something to fill up that calendar, right? And I think the more you have them filled up, the more productive you will be, because I think as a business owner, um, the luxuries is that you're your own boss, quote unquote, but that can also be a detrimental thing where it's hard to stay disciplined, right? And do what you set out to put on your agenda, because if you don't do it, there's no real repercussions immediately, right? That can. So have you always said that that kind of keeps you sane in a momentum train towards your goals, would you say?
Oh yes, and I learned this early on. I mean, in school, I was always with my planner
Oh, nice.
because I was a type of student that if I didn't write it down, I didn't have homework.
Wow.
I wouldn't remember that I had homework.
Right.
So, since school, I always had a planner and I would write down, what I had for homework, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't remember, and I would arrive to school and I'd be like, "Oh
Oh, wow.
shoot, like I forgot, I didn't know, I didn't remember." And so I learned that on it and I acquired that discipline and carried into my business, obviously. And it's like my Bible, I carry it every day. Every week I look into my week, I look forward months ahead, and definitely, you have to prepare, you have to know, and you also have to be intentional, about planning and strategizing inside of the business.
Nice. Now let's get into a little bit about team beauty now, right? We'll fast forward a little bit. You're 21. Obviously we meet, we have our first child, Diego Andres, September of 2014, right? Was kind of how can I describe it from my eyes? It was just kind of like, wow, now there's a third human being that we're 110% responsible for, right? It's not your niece, your nephew, where you borrow them for a weekend, for a day. There's an actual human, living, breathing human being that is your responsibility 110%. What was the biggest for your eyes as a business owner, what was the biggest dramatic change now being a new mother?
Yes. Well, first let me say it was a dream come true meeting the man that I had written for, because ladies, let me tell you, you have to write down everything that you want about your man if you're still single. I got everything except he doesn't have green eyes, but it's okay. Well, we have our baby, and it was a life change, because not only was it that you have a human in front of you, but my body changed.
Right.
My body changed. My dream was to be a stay-at-home mom. And so now that I had the baby, I was taking that very literal. We were at home breastfeeding, taking care of the baby. And it was just different, because you're new and you think that you're gonna have, I don't know, I guess I thought I was gonna have my mom and my suegra and everybody there with me, helping me with my child. And It's like, no, now you have your child.
Right.
Go ahead, do it. And so I would just say what the biggest life change was like the series of thoughts that would go through my head every single day that eventually, catch up to you, and really start to create a ripple effect in your life of really defining who you become.
Right. So what would you say? Did you have experienced somewhat what people call now, right, postpartum depression in a sense? Would you
Yes, I
elaborate on that?
did. I did have postpartum depression. It's like I love my baby. It's a big blessing. It's a dream come true to even have an opportunity to become a mother.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm unhappy. I don't like what I see in the mirror. I don't like being home all the time. Now I can't just pick up and go. And all of that catches up to you, especially when you don't have an outlet, when you don't have a source, when you don't have anything, injecting that positive fuel into your, not only into you, but into your brain, into your heart. And that over time, the first 3 months of having the baby had me in December feeling sad, discouraged, unmotivated, depressed, until I said, like, I need something that is going to get me out of the hole that I'm in.
Right. So would you say a lot of it, right, that was one of the pillars that moved you to start something fresh, something new, to say, hey, you know what? Not only am I in this boat, there might be other people that are in the same boat as I am, feeling these types of things after, giving birth. I know that this project started January of 2015, right? And really was a cold winter, I remember, right, where you feel alone, you feel there's this new change in our life. How do I now keep being a business owner, and how do I stay motivated? um so how do I create a project so I can have energy and time to invest it in there, and not worried about the situation that I'm currently facing at your household, right? Our home. What was the inspiration, right, of Team Beauty, right? If you can elaborate more on what was that, do you recall where you were at in our home, that you said, you know what, I'm starting this new project and it's going to be revolved around women that maybe are not feeling their 110% about self-love, what their worth is, and I really want to tailor a program to these women in specific. Do you recall giving birth to the project Team Beauty, exactly when and where?
Well, I can't tell you that I was already thinking about other women and the
Okay.
impact that it was going to create. I was thinking about my whole. I was thinking like I was home, and mm, Diego knows this, and it's like the guys get up and go, right? Like they
Right.
get up. Diego would get up, go to the gym, come back, go to the office, come back, like do all of these things. And there we are at home because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom in pajamas with my chongo to the side, like, and I would think to myself, like, here I am, even like picking up some sort of resentment, even like towards you, because you could do those things. But since I was the mom and I was a woman and I was at home, like I couldn't just go and I couldn't just do the things that I would have wanted to be doing. But in reality, it had nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with me, my self confidence, my self worth, and actually having the guts to go after, what I wanted. And it had to begin with me starting my health journey again. So I thought, how is Gery going to get out of her comfort zone, to get out of the hole, to freaking lose some weight and start feeling good about myself? Because I would just tell them, just pick up something.
Right.
Pick up whatever. What do you want to eat? Just pick up whatever. And that started with dinner
Sure.
and then lunch. And it was like, just pick up whatever, pick up whatever. And I had no healthy habits at
Right.
that time. Having the knowledge,
Right.
right? Having the knowledge.
And I think sometimes that because maybe some of our viewers are watching that and they know they know what they got to do, right? It's kind of like put the chips down, put the drinks down, the cokes, the late night snacks. Like we know what we got to do, but there's just something about sometimes because we know how to do it, we don't do it because we know how we could say, oh, I'll do it, whenever I need to, whenever there's this wedding coming up, whenever there's this big event going up. What would you say? Because would you say kind of doing it in a group effort? Would you say like, hey, you know what? I'm ready to work on myself, but does it make it easier? Would you say in your 15 years plus of experience with the health and wellness industry that you're a part of, would you say your clients have gotten better results, you yourself, when they are doing it in a group setting? And
That
why?
was a
Why?
must. Even when I started Team Beauty, for me, it was like I needed to call up some friends because I hadn't done it by myself. I wasn't doing it. So I knew that I had to call a couple accountability partners. I called several of my friends, several of my team members, and 7 of them were crazy enough to say yes to me. And I just said, like, hey, I need to lose weight. I want to look good. I need help, right? Admitting that you need help. I need support. And we got started and I lost 45 pounds my first 12 weeks. It was amazing. My baby was 6 months already, and I had already dropped 45 pounds
Wow.
in that time. And from there, I could truly say Team Beauty kicked off.
And so it was initially with just 7 girls, right? You probably
Mhm.
sent to hundreds of girls in your team, um, and 7 answered the call. And something I remember about that photo shoot is that sometimes people think that they need to have everything figured out, that everything needs to be perfect. I remember you got the shirts ready, that the day of you got them printed like the logo of Team Beauty that you see today with the little, the nice fonts and the little, the little logo silhouette of the Team Beauty girl was not even around yet, right? It's like we just went with basic font. The photographer that we knew, like the only one that we knew, called them up. Hey, there's this project. Went to the civic center, and let's do it. And so what is that? Would you say that's a big? I always want to credit, but I want you to elaborate that. I think that's one of the characteristics about you, that you don't wait for the perfect timing. You don't wait for the perfect opportunity. You kind of just jump on whatever is really blossoming in your heart. So can you elaborate more on not things having to be perfect, would you say, to get going in whatever project
I
that the
believe
viewers have?
that, I mean, not doing things on the fly. Obviously, we weren't doing it on the fly, but I believe that it's better for it to be done than perfect. A lot of the times we wait for the perfect moment or the perfect, or whenever we feel that we're going to be ready, but I believe that we're never ready. Like we wanted a baby, but we weren't ready. But financially, mentally, maybe even in our own marriage. I mean, we had just met and gotten married, and it's happened so fast. I mean, you're never really ready for the big things in your life. You have to decide, commit, and then figure the rest as you go. Roll forward. You have to figure the rest out as you go, because you're gonna learn, you're gonna fall down. Um, and good things are going to come out of it. I truly believe that Team Beauty, jumping, on it, and having those results and taking those pictures, and seeing that font and that crop top. It was like our goal to wear a crop top, by the way.
Sure.
And we were wearing that crop top, and I was a proud mom, wearing that crop top. But now I look at it and I'm like, man, that sure was overpriced for what they gave me, and it's like, it didn't matter. We were just so excited and so happy about what we were doing that, those things didn't matter. It didn't matter. And I truly believe that it's that genuine heart of helping other people that created the success that we have inside of Team Beauty.
Nice. And obviously, can you give us a rundown, right? Like 7 people the first time, the second go around, the third go around.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
was
it
that?
was 7 the first one, 25, 100. The first year we did over 500 women had already joined the team. The
Throughout the cycles of
throughout the cycles.
right.
In one year, we
Yeah.
had over 500. The second year, we had over 2,000 women.
Wow.
The third year, we had surpassed the 5,000 mark,
Wow.
which we were like number two in our company
Sure.
for that. And we've truly helped over 10,000 women over the years. And it's been beautiful to see every woman blossom and step into their power and see them go from not being confident in wearing a sleeveless shirt to wearing a tank top, of not being confident to wear shorts to wearing shorts, on wearing a dress for the first time, for taking the opportunity to pamper themselves. I mean, in our experiences, we've seen women say, like, I never really took the time to do my makeup or to do
Right.
my hair, or I've never really worn lashes, or I've never had a girl time experience type. I've never had friends, and for us to see that happening inside of our community and for it to be part of our culture is what keeps us connected, right? It's what keeps the glue together, and what truly, I say every testimony always brings a light inside of us, brings some fire for us to keep doing everything bigger and better than we did the last time.
Wow. Now, something that's very dynamic about this project that you have is that obviously it's not a one woman team, right? There's other coaches that have helped you along the way. What has been some of the most I guess fulfilling people that maybe were upset about their situation, right? Just as they were maybe a client. A lot of these coaches were former
They were
clients at one
beauties
point.
first. They were clients.
Yeah. So can you elaborate just how many coaches is it kind of that, I know it's be a big number. But I'm sure it was like you coaching all of them at one point, all seven of them, and then as they were getting bigger, and now that you're looking even to
Now we
expand,
have over 300 coaches on the
300
team.
coaches, and now it's not one location, right? It is San
Yes.
Antonio.
Now we have that has an experience is San Antonio, Brownsville. We have the Corpus Kingsville area.
Wow.
But as well, we have our out of town experiences for the coaches that, still don't have something local.
Mhm.
But we're always expanding and working with them so we can continue growing those cities.
Nice. Now, what's up next with Team Beauty? I know you guys have made a couple of adjustments, right? It's not just a photo shoot anymore, right? It used to be just, you kind of came in, there was a theme set up from Winter Wonderland and Pinup, which is the next one, beach shoot, right? Can you explain a little bit to the viewers that maybe are not updated how Team Beauty has kind of changed this past year after the pandemic? And maybe just briefly how you adjusted during the pandemic, right? For all our business owners that rely on in person, right? Because I know there's a lot of these boot camps, fit camps that are within the Team Beauty facilities, helping them, get in shape, have the coaches there. How did you guys adjust during the pandemic? What were some changes that you had to adapt to, and what does it look like today?
Yes, well, before the pandemic, we had these photo shoots, which was an experience where they actually got their makeup and hair done there.
Okay.
Okay, that was a full experience. Like I tell you, some girls saying, like, I've never got my makeup done professionally, or I've never worn lashes, or I'm never giving myself this time to get pampered. So that was a full experience in itself when they would arrive for makeup and hair, and then they would do their photo shoot, whatever theme that was, whether, it was a beach or fitness or country or, whatever theme that it was, the girls always played full out and had a blast. When the pandemic hit, I'm not gonna lie, all of us were nervous. We didn't know what's gonna happen next. How are we gonna do this? People can't get close with each other. So we started doing a lot of um online things, right? A lot of staying connected, but not only once a week. Now it was like we truly were trying to stay connected with a lot of different things to keep our customers together, and for them to understand, like, at the end of the day, my mission has always been like, we're not alone. right? You are not alone. And so we did our online workouts, live. We had cooking classes, empowerment calls, nutrition calls. We had so many different things that we started to add to our calendar to continue to stay connected. And slowly, as the world started opening up, we started to do basic. And when I say basic photo shoot, it was like there's no more hair and makeup since we were all freaking out
Right.
about everything. So they would just come in and take their picture. And we realized that, the girls weren't just in for the picture. They were in for a full experience.
Experience.
There was a lot more that they wanted, not just come in for 5 minutes and leave. And as we've opened and everything is good now, we brought the party back, right? And so we had our first one here in July, and it was a beach experience. And
Nice.
so we had a beach party. Okay, there was a DJ, there was a VIP experience, there was food, there was drinks for everyone. And they were also able to take their picture, which was awesome. I think the experience and the party behind the scenes truly makes everyone feel like I worked the last 8 weeks so hard, right? To then come celebrate, enjoy myself, and then see the fruits of my confidence. And I say fruits of my confidence because it's not about the picture of the results, which that counts too, right? Like how much weight you lost or how you look. But more than the picture of how you look, it's that woman that gets behind the camera and what that confidence looks like.
Right.
From being nervous, maybe not feeling good in your own skin, to now owning it and being like, I'm happy, I love myself, look at me, this is me, and I can't wait for the next one, because now it's a before and after in your self-worth, your self-confidence, and who you're truly becoming in the process.
Nice. And I know I was there. I know one of the biggest things that I kind of took away was the camaraderie that was being built among those girls, even though they were from different cities, they had different coaches, they were from different regions. Now, this is the difference between, having just a big party with random people there. It's like, no, they were intertwined through the Telegram group chats that you guys have, that maybe they had never gotten to know each other in person, but somebody that was from Harlingen, and the other person was from Mission, and they were able to see each other's transformation. They were able to see the updates happening, to finally say, "Oh my God, you're that girl, Gery,"
Yeah,
etc.
they always
Right?
say you're from the chat, like I finally get to meet you. Some girls even flew in from
Wow.
Arizona, from New Mexico. They flew in to be a part of the experience because they wouldn't want to miss it. And that's how powerful the experience is. That's how powerful the community is, that it becomes something that just makes you better as a
Right.
human.
Nice. Very awesome. And I guess, two more questions just to wrap up this part of Team Beauty. What is it? Have you put thought into it? What Team Beauty would be ideally looking like in the next 5 years? What's your vision for this amazing project? I know, right? There's a couple cities already involved. Would you want to expand more in different cities? Have a number in mind of how many women become impacted by this? What's next for Team Beauty down the road, 5 years from now, in the year 2027, we could say?
Well, nobody has asked me that. But I do see always more. Team Beauty is going to explode in the next 5 years, 10 times more than what we've done here in the first. We're about to celebrate our 8th anniversary with Team Beauty. So I see a 10th anniversary party going down. Okay.
That's for sure.
We're already thinking about our 10th anniversary and how that's gonna happen. But we do want to go out of the state. So we're gonna have experiences out of the state. We already have a team in Chicago, we have a team in California, we have a team in New York, we have a
Wow.
team in Florida. So we're working on creating that momentum in those states to be able to have our experiences there as well. So definitely expansion will be happening and we'll be growing 10 times more than what you see now.
Awesome. Now, my last question for you, Gery, for our viewers, I think I really want to make sure that they get some last closing statements from you. Those people that I know knowing you, you were, I didn't get to know you back then, but I truly believe you when you said, you were shy, you weren't really open to talk to people, right? Because of fear of rejection. I think that's one of the biggest thing that when anybody starts a project that, oh, what if I get rejected, right? Those people that were shy, those people that really didn't know what they wanted to do, those people that maybe have a business today and they're just on the ground zero floor starting their business. Obviously we I think the statistics is that from every 10 businesses that get open within the first year, only 1 to 2 survive, right? So what can you really tell our viewers today that are entrepreneurs, that they have a new project, they're sick and tired of whatever they've been doing and they really want to go up and jump off into their dreams, and really chase them like you chased yours of being in this profession, and what are just some thoughts for the listeners in that retrospect, like what's the best advice you can give them and to hopefully empower them to get their project going?
Well, the first thing that I would say is don't rely your happiness or your inner
Self-worth.
fulfillment on other people or on another source. Don't rely your happiness on your husband, on your children, on other people's opinions. I think I learned fast, that I couldn't only feel good when you were, on like serving me or on top, or like not on top of me. I
Whoa,
mean,
whoa.
you're
This is a PG programming, guys, so we'll edit that part. Okay.
when you were like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?"
Right.
I couldn't rely my personal happiness on you only or around my children. I realized fast that I needed to do the things that made me happy and I needed to stay in that zone. I would like to call it the high vibe zone
Sure. High
of
frequency.
yes, to know that okay, is this the things that I want? Is this how I want to feel? Is this how I want to move? And that made me more confident, that made me more happy, that made me more genuinely like a better person, right? And so if you're trying to conquer your health goals, if you're trying to, work on a business or even say yes to an opportunity that you've been watching or you've been scrolling on, and you haven't done it because you're afraid of what other people are going to think, because your husband won't let you, because you don't have time or this or that, you just have to think like, if you feel it in your gut and in your heart that something like that is going to make you happy, it's going to fulfill your purpose. It's going to fulfill you as a person of who you want to become. Then you have to chase it. I don't think that dreams are instilled in our heart just because. Like
Sure.
if you feel something, like I feel Team Beauty was a gift that God
Least
planted inside of me as part of my purpose. And if I wouldn't have listened to that,
like
you
that
know,
intuition type deal, right?
that intuition, where would I be?
Wow.
What would have happened to all of these people?
Wow.
And that's important, that even though our family is important, my relationship is important, at the end of the day, I always battle in my mind, like, is this what you want to do? Like, a lot of the times, every single day, you have to remind yourself, like, I need to get up and I need to fall into this routine and I need to do the things that I need to do for myself first and work in my personal schedule. So then I could be a better wife, a better mother, a better business partner, a better leader, a better everything, because I'm going to be in that high vibe zone where I'm dominating my thoughts, I'm dominating my agenda, I'm dominating, you know, my self esteem, I'm dominating everything. because I know exactly where I personally stand in my frequency. And
Nice.
I'm not going to let that or anybody to shift me from there. Now, is it easy? No, it's not easy. And that's why you need to stay connected to personal development, to
Mentors.
mentors, to people that are doing bigger things than you,
Right.
because that automatically connects you to your why, to your purpose of like, am I doing the things that I need to be doing in order to get to where I want to get to? And as simple as losing 30 pounds, right? You can have somebody not wake up early, not go to the gym, but if your friends are fit, they already got their workout in the morning. So
Sure.
it's like automatically you're going to be like, damn, I slept in, I didn't get my workout in, or
Yeah.
I haven't had my breakfast, I need to do this, right? So who you surround yourself with matters, and also who you're listening to matters. And so I would say um that's important, right? To stay true to who you want to be first, because before being a mom, a wife, I was Gery, and Gery had dreams, Gery had passions, Gery had things that she wanted to accomplish, places she wanted to go to. And so I still stick to how I want to live my life there. And that creates a ripple effect into the rest of my life, into obviously our relationship, our family, our household. And I truly believe that that's why we have a happy marriage and a happy life, because up until now, I've been able to control and work on that area of me.
Nice. Being
Because how would
intentional.
it be if you had a depressed wife?
Wow. I would have had to done my Carfax research to make sure that was that. And obviously, right. Joking aside, I know because that does exist, right? That does exist in people. I'm sure nobody signs up for that, right? When they become young to have negative thoughts kind of overtaking them. But definitely something you really hit the nail on the head with was really the people that you're surrounding yourself, the people that you're listening to, the people that you're watching on YouTube, right? Like, are you watching something productive, or are you just entertaining yourself? And I think that classifies you in a sector itself of where your thoughts are going to be dominated. So I hope people that are watching are taking notes, right? And luckily they can rewind and all that
Mhm.
once this live broadcast is done. So really awesome content, Gery. I really excited that you get to be our first official host. What can the people you're going to continue with the series on this Team Beauty official page. What can people expect on these episodes? What type of people are you going to bring? What type of content are they going to be delivered onto their screens? What can you kind of briefly talk to me about this upcoming project that we have?
Thank you. Yes. So, what we wanted to do was to open our empowerment to everybody these 12 weeks before Christmas.
Right.
If you haven't realized, there are 12 weeks before Christmas,
Wow.
before the year ends. We're almost there. And so we're opening this up so everyone can have access to our empowerment series these next 12 weeks. And throughout these next 12 weeks, you are going to be able to hear from the leaders in our team, the pioneers of Team Beauty, the OGs, the ladies who started from the very beginning, who today have built very successful teams full of hundreds of women that have transformed. You're going to be able to hear from successful entrepreneurs around the nation that we've been able to create amazing relationships with, moms, single women, just being able to hear their stories, not only from the business side, but hearing their stories of, becoming a single mom, divorce, how do you overcome that, bankruptcy, toxic relationships, depression, all of these different things that, we can see in ourselves sometimes, in our sisters, in our aunts, in our own family. And we wanted to have it live so you can have it to share, right? To share to people that you know, that you say, you know what, like this woman could really benefit from her story. And so I'm telling you ahead of time, they are on purpose for you to share. I would like to say, like, to extend to somebody in need, right? To somebody that's in the hole, just like we were at some point in our life. And because of this movement, we've been able to create a positive mindset. We've been able to create a different type of perspective inside of life, where even though it's not perfect, it's not, just a bunch of roses. Okay. We say we live in a pink world inside of Team Beauty because it truly is beautiful to see women every single day working on themselves, regardless of what they're going through. But we know life is not perfect. And we want you to know that there are people that we know that have been in the same or worse situation than you, that have come out of that have worked on themselves, that are victorious today. And that could be you, right? End the year strong, full of empowerment, full of motivation, full of inspiration. And I truly can't wait to have these ladies on these next
Wow, wow, wow. I'm excited. I'm going to be
week.
definitely tuning in, probably be on the back end of some of those interviews with some of those special people that, come really from similar walks of life, not really knowing what they were going, had some tribulations, trials during their life, and have been able to come out of it. And I know some of the viewers, I hope all the viewers that are watching will get some great content. So, wow, I think this wraps up episode 1 with the Team Beauty founder, Gery Gutierrez. Gery, I can't thank you enough for accepting this invitation to being our first host for the official channel. And I'm excited to see what this channel is going to be bringing to people, the value. And I'm sure we will interview you once again, once, we've had a lot of great content for these people. So thank you for accepting this invitation, and I can't wait to do it again.
Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Of
Thank you for
course.
all the behind the scenes, because this looks clean and everything, but you should see behind this.
Right.
And excellence is key, and you always doing everything above and beyond. And so I truly thank you so much for not only being one of my biggest supporters along this Team Beauty journey. He is somebody that has always said, go for it. Yes. What do you need? How can I help? Even sometimes like stays behind with the kids, stuff like that. It's a tug and pull type of thing when you're running a business with your husband as well. But thank you so much for that, for always saying yes to all of these crazy ideas. And I love
It's a
you.
wild ride, definitely, and I wouldn't change it for the world, So thank you for the invitation. And guys, if you guys found this episode useful to you guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, that you are liking it with the thumbs up. I hopefully gave you great content, and you're sharing it on any social media platforms where you feel that somebody may be able to take good notes off of this, and hopefully inspire them to really jump on whichever project as an entrepreneur, or any mothers that are just wanting to get better results, better inspiration to really get back to the pre-pregnancy weight or whatnot. I hope that it'll be of great value to those people. So that concludes episode 1 with our Team Beauty founder, Gery Gutierrez. Gery, thank you, and can't wait to do it again. Let's do it.
You.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.